Needs More Drums, back in Rusinskiy for another episode of our European, Soviet-inspired journey to 100,000 population city. This episode, I'm very, very excited. I also have a fun announcement, so let's go ahead, jump in, and get started with today's build. All right, so picking up where we left off, everything is looking good so far. Still have some nice low density developments coming up. Gonna work today on expanding out these cities pretty quickly. I'm trying to get to the to unlock some high density zoning, and so I really want to focus today on just expanding out the cities as much as possible. It's still well planned out, of course, but would like to get this population growing, since that is the goal after all. But before we get started, I actually want to share something exciting. I have some exciting news. I am investing in a new gaming PC. It's actually going to be the first one that I've ever built. I'm going to try to build it myself. I already have the parts kind of spec'd out, with what I want to do, and it's going to be pretty good. And I'm pretty excited for it. I have some cash sitting around, saved up from playing some gigs and everything, and from work. And so I think it's kind of time, now that I'm really invested in this, and since Skylines 2 is coming out and it's going to be a very demanding game, it's about time to get something new, since this current PC is not very future proof, and it definitely won't be able to handle Skylines 2 and recording videos and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. I'll keep y'all posted once I get all the parts and everything. I'll kind of do probably a video kind of explaining what's all in it for all of you technical computer people. I'm not super tech savvy, but with the help of the internet and some of my friends, I was able to put together a pretty good build, and I'm pretty excited to get it all together and stuff. And as I'm recording this video, I'm about to order the parts, so they should be coming in pretty soon. I'll get it built hopefully before Skylines 2 comes out, barring any unforeseen delays. But for now, we're just going to keep on playing, with what we got, and making the best of it. And I'm definitely not going to get rid of this PC. I'm going to keep it for, some other things and stuff too. So no worries. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. So let's go ahead and get started with today's build. So like I said, all that I want to do today is just really focus on expanding out these couple of cities, and then I'm hoping to get started on the third city. So I think to unlock high density, I believe we need to reach is this the one that I need? Big town. No, I think it's the one. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. So we just need to reach the next milestone, which is another 1,000 people. And people are complaining about power again, so I'm going to give them more power. All right, that issue should be solved. Gotta love it. Everybody's always complaining about something, but I guess that's what it's like being a urban planner. Nobody's ever happy except those people. But anyway, so yeah, so I think for this first part of the episode, all that I'm gonna do. Oh, and now I need to give them some more water too, apparently. Oh man, I have such needy citizens. Can't imagine that I'm gonna have 90,000 more of these people. All right, well, anyway, so today what I want to do is just do some pretty quick expansion. I'm probably just gonna get started, jump into a little time lapse, put on some music, and just expand till we hit our next milestone. And then I'll talk through some of the things that I want to do with once we get there. So let's go ahead, get into it, and hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, and that's another milestone down. So now we can start going into our some of our already developed areas here and getting these taking advantage of these high density zones. So I would like to actually do that now with some of the spots that I kind of already had planned to turn into some of these like housing developments. Specifically this spot right here, I wanted to be one, and then also some in the other city in Prospertania. So let's just pause the game real quick. And I know, this is not the most like the greatest way to do this. Obviously I don't like deleting homes, but this is just part of a, kind of rebuilding and redeveloping some of these areas. This stuff happens in real life, just over a, much greater time span than a couple of episodes. So no big deal. We'll make it work. But anyway, so as you may notice, I've upgraded some of the roads. I think that, is really going to help with traffic flow and just, our city's growing. We're not going to just have dirt roads everywhere forever. So, it costs a little bit more, but it's always a good starting point to have some dirt roads in your city. It saves you a lot of money. But as soon as you can upgrade, it's always pretty good to do so. So let's go ahead and upgrade some of these roads here around this future housing development. I think I'm just going to go with some pretty straightforward roads here, and then maybe inside of this I'd like to do I do want to make sure that they have parking. And actually I do have these vanilla roads. They're the vanilla plus roads from Delta 5.1, and this is really good because they kind of take aspects of the vanilla roads but then just add to them a little bit to make them a little bit more appealing, and just so you have a little bit more variety in your city. But yeah, so this is going to be since this is going to be primarily a housing development, I do want to make sure that there's plenty of parking for the residents. So we're going to do that, and then let's go ahead and actually, I know we could have done this earlier, I know, but I just didn't want to get ahead of myself and use find it to find these high density buildings before we actually unlock them through the game. And so I'm curious about actually some of these Brooklyn ones, if I can get put a few of these together and kind of make them into a housing development. I'm thinking that might actually not be too unrealistic, and I'm wondering too if I can even change some of the colors on these. So I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind while I'm doing this. As there are a few that might actually be pretty good, but for now there are quite a few of the vanilla ones that I think are going to be perfect for something like this. So something like this, for example, these tenements, and I'm actually going to set a different filter to where we can set the max level. I don't want to have anything over a level 2 at this point, and I know that plopping them will make them historical, but they will level up eventually. But I think just given the state of the city, I don't want to start having these huge level 5 buildings when we don't really have the resources to support those at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of these little housing developments and just see kind of how it turns out. honestly, I am loving this. That is the perfect, just with these vanilla buildings, you can really achieve a good Eastern European look. I mean, look at that development. I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit more of these around this city and around the other city before we end the episode, since obviously we're not quite there yet, but we've been building quite a bit, and I just want to spend some time with this and let this all kind of take shape. So I'm gonna just go ahead and again jump into another little time lapse and just get to work and clean up some of these areas. So sit back and enjoy. All right, we're getting close to another milestone here, and while we're waiting for that to happen, I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of what I've been doing, a little recap. This area turned out quite nicely, besides the fact that this building is on fire now, apparently. So while the fire department handles that, yeah, just using the vanilla buildings, we can really get some cool, Soviet-style architecture effects just by, kind of using plot the grobles and things like that. And so this part of the city is looking pretty cool. I like it a lot. And I think I might replace this block too, since it's kind of, you know, on its own, just these random little suburban homes. I don't think that really makes too much sense. So I'll go ahead and change that. And yeah, just in case you missed it earlier in the time lapse from before, I did try to manage some traffic flow using some roundabouts. They're doing okay, but we have a lot of traffic coming into this city, and I'm wondering if I need to do some actual, like, you know, start making some 4-lane roads around here, especially since we got a bunch of traffic coming off the highway and things. That also reminds me that I need to go in and make these off ramps, and so I think I'm gonna do that before the end of the episode. We definitely have the investments to do so, and I think that having these highway off ramps are really gonna make it easier for people, because there's really not a good way to get on and off the highway besides like going all the way down here or going all the way down here. It doesn't make a lot of sense, especially since this is our bigger city. We should be able to, you know, have a few people being able to get off right here and, you know, enter and exit the highway. So I'm going to take care of that in just a minute, but also expanded out some of the industry and created some housing developments over here. And looks like we don't really have too much of a demand for residential, which makes sense because it just put down a bunch of houses. So going to keep up with that demand, kind of expand out this industry a little more, maybe over here too. And I should put down some additional garbage collection as well. It looks like our landfill capacity is fine, but we have a lot of garbage trucks in use, and so I think having another, you know, landfill or recycling, a couple of recycling centers might alleviate some of that problem, especially since some of these trucks have to travel really quite far to get out over this way to Prosvetanie. So I'm gonna actually put one of those down. I'll build. We have a nice amount of money here right now, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and build the groundwork for like a kind of a waste processing facility over here in Prosvetanie, since we don't really have anything like that yet. And we'll start by putting down one of these recycling centers. This will help, you know, relieve some of the strain from just this landfill over here. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and build a couple of highway off ramps, and I have a couple of designs, or one design here that I'm thinking of doing. We definitely have the space to do this, and you know, I wouldn't usually do something like this in the you know, in a dense urban area, but since we do have quite a bit of space, I'm gonna go ahead and make this work. So I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is put the game on pause, and I know you're not making money while the game's on pause, but it definitely is better on my frame rate given my current setup here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do actually is I want to turn this road into a much bigger road. This is going to be a pretty main road for us. I'm wondering if I should even use, yeah, let's see how much space this takes up compared to something like that. I suppose a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this for now. So I know that's pretty expensive, but you know, the reason I'm doing that is to pave the way for future development, pun unintended. But yeah, you know, I think it'll really help to have some of these 4-lane roads down, especially in some of these areas that I know are going to see a lot of traffic. I've kind of made the mistake already of, you know, kind of limiting myself to some 2-lane roads. And I think what I'm going to do, instead of trying to fit like an avenue across this whole way, which I really can, given that, actually I probably just can do that since, you know, we haven't developed anything on this side of the road yet. So it's these spots that are going to be tough to kind of work in some higher you know, higher, I can't think of the word right now, but capacity. That's what I'm thinking of. Higher capacity roads. You know, we already have this kind of nice avenue here, but I think these are probably going to have to stay just the way they are. But I do want to be able to work some higher capacity roads into this area here. So I actually might do that now. But, you know, one step at a time. I know we're trying to do a lot in this episode, and oh my gosh, there's so much to do. But anyway, okay. Let's get to work on these couple of highway exits, and then I'll work on upgrading these roads, and then I think we'll call it a day. So let's just go ahead and build this off ramp first here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get to work, get this done pretty quickly. And I also downloaded these highways by Klus or Klus. I think they look really, really nice, and I'm gonna slowly kind of start to upgrade, you know, all of the roads accordingly once we get a little bit more, you know, money. But for now, this will do the job just fine. And what I want to do here is just kind of have an interchange like so. So this is going to come around here, and then this is just going to be a one of these, you know, it'll go into 2 lanes and then right back. You know, so we'll have this 2-lane road here like this. And you know what? I'm just going to be quiet and build. So enjoy the builds. Talk to you guys in a minute. All right, so this first interchange is complete and we're broke, so I'm just gonna let this run for a minute, and actually gonna delete these stoplights as well since we don't need those. So the next one that I want to do is over here. I want to add one to this part of the highway, and this one's gonna be a little bit trickier because these train tracks are really, really close to where I'm trying to build. So I'm wondering if there is a way that I can work around this without having to delete these train tracks. And I think the answer is just going to be having this really, really close to the highway here. Just a really, really close on-ramp. And I think that's going to be what we're going to have to do. And then here I can do something kind of similar where you know, I'm going to avoid having to cut into this dirt road here, which, to be honest, I don't really think we need anymore. But I'd like to think that this is kind of some old farm road, and I'd like to keep that there. So I think I'm going to have it do the same thing, kind of come off here. And, you know, if I can't figure out a good way to build this off-ramp, then I guess we're just going to have to get kind of creative with it and do something a little different. So I'm not worried. And plus we have some space since this highway's, you know, 3 lanes here and only 2 lanes this way. I think we should be able to make it work. But for now, I'm just going to let the game run until we have a little bit more money. And thinking about maybe add another roundabout here since there seems to be a lot of traffic happening, or at least, you know, maybe upgrading this road a little bit coming into the city. So I'll think about that while I let the game run. And look at that, we've hit another milestone. Small city. Everything is looking good so far. Yeah, we got a lot more public transit options. It looks like nothing that we're going to use anytime soon, because we just don't quite have the money for it. I'm thinking about, well, I guess let me bite my tongue there, because it looks like we just got another 50 grand in the bank from that last milestone. So that is fantastic, and we definitely need it because we're kind of pushing pushing it on power and just general road infrastructure. I mean, look at all these cars coming in here. We definitely need to do something about this. So, you know what? I think we are about to bite off a little bit more than we can chew for this episode. So I think I'm just going to call it here. And we'll come back to all this in the next episode. We'll finish up this interchange, make some infrastructure adjustments. I might even actually do this off camera just so that we can focus on the development of the city. But nonetheless, stay tuned. We got a lot left to do. The city is starting to take shape, and we're starting to realize, some of the issues. We gotta, spend some money to keep the people happy and deal with some of these infrastructure problems. So stay tuned for the next episode. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.